Oh, hi. I'm Tim. You might recognize me from Deep Space or Voyager, some local comedy shows here in the city. But right now, I'm by myself. I'm by myself in the Laughing Tap. And it's a good thing because I've been cooped up in my house for way too long. You've probably been feeling the same way. And so I had to escape. I broke a window and I came in here to talk to you about something special. We need laughter. You've watched enough stuff on TV, everything. It's like, how many times can you watch Parks and Rec? I'm up to my 90th, and I can pretty much say the whole second season verbatim. But anyway, we decided to give you something fresh. We brought local Milwaukee comics, brought to you by Milwaukee Comedy and the Laughing Tap, to come in here. We have plenty of hand sanitizer. We dipped them into vats of it like Achilles. They're going to give you comedy. You're going to watch it, and you're going to laugh. I'm pretty damn sure you're going to laugh. Because if you don't laugh at it, there might be something dead inside of you. But I believe everybody who's donated and who's been wanting comedy in their lives will enjoy this video. So, check it out. And maybe we can get together and do this live sooner than later. I love you.
Okay, it's good to be here. This is my first time performing on a stage during the Safe We're at Home initiative, during this quarantine, so this is great. I'm getting used to wearing a mask, as the people in the audience here are too, the three of them. It is interesting. It livens up the bedroom a little bit. My wife has said to me, hey, leave your mask on, and I'll say, okay. And then she'll say, I want to pretend you're our dentist. So that's exciting. But that's just a good reminder that I have health insurance. So that's what better time than now. Mike Pence, Vice President Mike Pence, visited a hospital and he chose not to wear a mask. I think that is stupid. He said he was doing it because he was going to show courage. I think that's stupid. I think he's stupid. I don't think he's stupid because of this one incident. I think he's stupid because he's from Indiana. It's still okay to poke fun, right? Fuck those Larry Bird looking motherfuckers. Their whiskey mustaches and their back braces. So I am quarantined at home with my two kids. I have two kids. I have a good one. I have a fat one. And here's what it's like having a fat son. I actually love him more than I love the other one. It doesn't matter. You'll never hear this. My fat son, every once in a while, he'll run up to me and he'll hand me half a beef stick. Okay? It's like having a college buddy. That's what that's like. I love having kids, which is super fun for me to be at home with them during this time, although they're very annoying most of the time. But here's the thing, I don't sleep much anymore because I sleep next to a woman who talks in her sleep. That's true. She'll scream in her sleep from time to time. That's true. She sleeps with a cat right above her head that licks its asshole so hard it sounds like it's trying to salvage burnt toast. That is also true. My kids have handled this time very well. I will say that. They've handled this time very well. Which is tough because we're living in an age that's a little unconventional. You just want to raise your kids like your parents raised you. But you can't do that. The other day I was watching a news program that showed a story about a police officer who did something that wasn't very nice. Killed a guy, okay? And my son was watching this too, and I realized I had to explain this to him. And I just wanted to do what my parents do and tell my son what my parents told me, right? That cops catch the bad guys, bakers bake the bread, and firefighters sleep with people's wives during the day. But you can't do that. You can't do that now. You have to be realistic. So we told my son, if you're ever in trouble, it's okay. You can go and find a police officer. But if a police officer asks for you, you tell them that you want a lawyer. And I think this sunk into my son because we were at the supermarket a few days later, and he was lagging behind by one aisle, and we could hear him across the aisle just yelling, "I need a lawyer!" My sons, they love each other very much, but I think that they find it difficult sometimes to show that love. It's true. There was a time I can remember recently, we've been watching a lot of Frozen, and my son, he was potty training and he pooped on the floor. He then picked up his own poop and held it in his hand like an old woman at the grocery store testing an avocado for ripeness. He just held it there for a moment. And the next thing that I noticed was his brother came in and said, "Hey, maybe don't eat that. Maybe don't eat that." It was like an act of true love. Frozen 1. I'll leave with this. They do show affection at times, and it really warms my heart, and especially during this time, to see that and to feel that is really important. I can remember a time recently where my younger son was doing something a little unorthodox, though. He tried to give his brother a hug, and he gave him a hug from the side and kind of behind. He gave him a weird behind side hug. And my oldest son didn't like this very much, so he did something. He pushed him back, he grabbed him in the penis, and he screamed in his face. He was just like, "Ah!" And then my youngest son, he also started screaming out of fear and pain. He was like, "Ah!" And then I started screaming because I was witnessing something almost primal in nature. I was like, "Oh my God!" And suffice it to say that was one of the more memorable moments for the other people in Target that day. Okay, that's my time.
All right, I'm gonna do a little bit of storytelling here, because my material is all about baby carrots right now. I don't want to get pigeonholed as the baby carrot comic. That's a callback to my other set if you've seen it. So this was a weird thing that happened to me right before this the world ended. Essentially, this happened the week before the quarantine happened. I was in Michigan. I was doing a couple shows in Michigan, and like when I drive now and I'm doing a show on the road, I can't. The only thing I want to listen to is true crime podcasts. I feel terrible about it. I don't know. I feel like true crime podcasts are the only thing I can listen to, because if I listen to like comedy podcasts, I'm like, oh, they're funnier than me. It makes me feel bad. If I listen to NPR podcasts, I'm like, oh, they're smarter than me. If I listen to true crime podcasts, I'm like, they're guiltier than me. All right. So the only time I'm not jealous of the people on the air. I'm like, well, I haven't murdered anyone or been murdered, so I'm doing pretty good. All right. So I'm listening to these true crime podcasts, but they mess with my head. I think it's not good for my head. Is I'm just basking in murder stories, and that's not good for the psyche. And this will all become relevant later. That's why I'm starting here. And I'm staying in Michigan. I stayed at the cheapest hotel I could find. That's what I do. I found a hotel room that was $40. Can you beat that? $40 hotel. And I was reading the reviews beforehand. And if you ever want to see privilege run amok, read the reviews of a $40 hotel. People are like, oh, there was mold in the tub. Well, it's $40. What do you expect? No mold in your wallet, right? They're like, ooh, there's blood on the sheets. I'm like, all right, that one's pretty bad, but still, $40. Can't beat that. I stay in a place that has mold in the tub and blood on the sheets all the time. It's called my apartment. I pay way more than $40 for that. So I'm hanging out in Michigan and having a pretty good time. And I hung out with some of the other comics. We went out to an open mic. Went out to this bar afterward, and it's like it's a fun thing about doing comedy. If you go do a show with a bunch of comics you don't know, it's kind of a fraternity. You gel really easily. I'm having a good time. I'm bragging to everybody about my $40 hotel room. Actually, doubling back to that, I did write a review myself of this hotel afterwards. I said, It was $40 and I wasn't murdered. 5 stars. Talking about murder a lot here. So I'm hanging out with these other comics, and I'm drinking, and that's fun. And then one of them has a little bag of edibles. I'm like, whoa, how much for that? He's like, $10. I'm like, all right, that's a deal. Like, I'm having a blast. My $40 hotel room is within a walking distance. So I should have paid attention when I heard him give one of these edibles to another one of the comics, because he told that comic it was like a little peep. It was a little peep edible, and he said, just eat the foot. And I should have just eaten the foot, because I ate the entire thing, because it was a peep, It was delicious. And also, I haven't really done drugs in over a year. So I overestimated my tolerance. And when I do drugs, what happens is there's a dialogue going on in my head. There's 2 voices, 2 guys in my head, and one of them is saying, hey, should we be freaking out? I think maybe we should be freaking out. I think things are very bad and wrong, and we're gonna freak out. But then there's the other guy. He's like, nah, it's cool. You just did drugs. This is gonna pass. This is gonna be fine. And the problem is now I've been drinking, so freak out guy shows up, because of the edible. He's like, hey, I think this situation's bad. I think maybe we should freak out. And now the problem is the other guy, he was drunk. So I ended up thinking that all of these people I was hanging out with were a cult. I was 100% certain that this was like a cult situation and I was being trapped in the cult. This is because I couldn't find the exit. So I'm like, I think what happened is this is just a mess of a story right here. I've totally lost the plot on this. I couldn't find the exit, so I thought they had physically removed the exit from this building to trap me and make me hang out in their cult. And this is what happens when you listen to too many true crime podcasts on the road and then do an edible and get drunk. It's a bad formula. You drop one of those things out of the equation. So if any comics I was hanging out with that night from Michigan happened to be watching this and I accused you of being a cultist, I apologize for that. And I guess what this really says about me is not only did I think it was a cult, but I thought this cult had been put up to culting me by my parents. I thought that this is a genuine delusion that I formed in this state. I thought that my parents had convinced these people to deprogram me out of doing stand-up comedy ever again. I was like, I'm on to you. I know what's going on. You get me in this bar, and then you block the exit so I can't leave, and you're all being nice to me and giving me drugs and alcohol, and you're just going to talk me out of ever doing stand-up again. I get it. I think what that says really is deep down, I just want to stop doing stand-up, maybe. And I projected that upon them. All right, that's been my weird time.
Yeah, I've been having a great time the past couple of weeks. I've been texting my barber like a girl that hasn't talked to her boyfriend or ex in a while. I sent my barber the hey big head text the other day. I cashed out him some money too. It didn't really occur to me until all this happened, what kind of relationship we really have. I give him money for a service. I feel like I need to show him more appreciation. It's just been weird. It's been weird. Everything's been strange. I got tested for the coronavirus. I got tested for that shit on Monday. It was bad. So they have this meme online where it's a long swab. They stick it in your nose and it goes all the way back into your brain like an alien baby. And it really is like that, actually. It's totally like that, 100%. It goes all the way back into your brain. First, they swab your mouth with the regular cotton swab. It's a regular ear swab, regular size for a human. Then they pull out this long, inappropriate one. And okay, hold on a second. And this motherfucker's 7 inches long. And they pull the swab out and they stuck it. And I remember because, when you have a traumatic experience, you remember everything down to little details. They stuck it in my left nostril at 1:17 p.m. on Monday. And they put it in there and it went all the way back. I felt it poke some part of my inside my head. I don't even know the name of it, but it's past my tongue. I don't know. But they poked it into my head and I was, and then they pulled it out. And she's like, okay, wasn't it? See, that wasn't too bad. That was the longest 3 seconds of my entire life. Like, that shit was worse than the giant drop at Six Flags. Like, I hate that shit. It was terrible. So after that, the reason why I got the test is because I had been around somebody who was suspected of having the virus. And so he had got tested. And he had talked to my doctor. She was like, you should probably be tested too. I'm like, okay, fine. I really just had a bad sinus infection. That's all I had. So she also prescribed me antibiotics for the sinus infection, excuse me. So I go to the pharmacy. This is what I didn't know. So they called me in, like before I came to the pharmacy, the people who tested me for COVID-19, they called the pharmacy and they're like, yeah, he's being tested for COVID. When I got there, have you ever walked in somewhere and people reacted like they knew you had a gun? That's what I felt like. I was being treated like an imminent threat. It was great. I walked in, everybody was in the back of the pharmacy. Like everybody was in the back. They're like, Mr. Johnson. I was like, you guys never know my name before coming here. I always gotta say it first. It's like, I'm just here for my erythema Z-Pack, what they give you when your nose runs too much. I'm like, I'm just here for my Z-Pack. And they're like, okay, that's fine. We prefer if you stay back there. Just stay back there and we're gonna get your medicine to you. So then Brian, the pharmacy man, comes and he has my bag of medicine. This boy, it was an alley-oop. He did a fucking free throw to give me my medicine. He was so scared to come near me. He did, and I know it was because his hand went like this. It was perfect shot for him. I couldn't stand it. He was like, and it landed right in my hand. And it pissed me off, not because I was being treated like a disease vector, but because this motherfucker has a perfect free throw. And he's not in the NBA. And I'm so upset. I'm so angry, I'm so upset all the time. I wake up in the morning, I gotta look in the mirror. I look like an extra from Django Unchained right now. Oh, I'm upset, I stay mad. It's been very long. I'm furloughed from work. I wasn't prepared to be 16 again. All I do is eat Doritos and play the game. Like, that's all I do all day long now. And like, I imagine this is what it's like to be retired. I don't know what day it is anymore. My sister called me pissed off. She's like, you supposed to get your nephew today. I'm like, I'll pick him up on Wednesday. She was like, it's Thursday. I'm like, okay, so it's not Wednesday. I'm not supposed to get him today. Why are you calling? Can't stand this shit. I'm so tired of it. I just want to say this before I get out of here. That first weekend when the cities and everything opens back up, it's going to be the biggest freak fest you've ever seen in your entire life. Be safe out there. But furthermore, I have to say this. When that freak fest starts, 2 weeks, if you ain't sick, 2 weeks after all the cities open back up, you ugly.